My journey is not for external recognition. It is my own internal self. It is what is that I am capable of, what truly I have a potential as a human being. What exactly you guys want to hear from me? Instead of me talking what I wanted to say, I would like to ask, you can throw me a questions, then based on the questions, I will start talking.
Cycling, you can cover perhaps 1 kilometer, 10 kilometers, maybe 15 kilometers. But beyond that, there is something else that could keep you going to reach that 100 kilometers every day.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's just energy that comes from your body, but something beyond that. So I would really like to know what mattered to you to cover that 100 kilometers every day.
This bicycle is something different. Once you start pedaling, you need to keep pedaling, and it rides on its own. I mean, in the sense, if you want to stop, you will not be able to stop. As long as the bike is moving, you need to keep pedaling. It is as simple as that. Today, if I want to stop, I will not be able to stop. Bike is, riding on its own, in a lighter sense. See, this journey of mine, directly related to the question what I have asked for, it didn't start 1,000 days before. I'm into cycling, and not exactly the riding a Fixie bicycle. Initially, when I started, I rode like either the hybrid or a MTB. I was more of a runner when I started my fitness journey, and as a cross training, I got into cycling. For me, anything endurance is a lot of my interest, because I just want to understand what I am capable of. 2000 years back, Socrates said, it feels sad knowing man going to grave without understanding his true potential of what his body is capable of. 10 kilometers or 15 kilometers looks comfortable. After that, what drives you? See, many a time, what drives you is, I just would like to connect with this, okay? And I have a little bit of surprise element in answering that, okay? And I will connect it for few seconds. You can just, hold your breath. What matters? Nothing. Nothing matters. Then what can be the other option for it? When your life is, when you don't know what you want, if why is not clear, nothing matters. What matters is your why, that is driven by purpose. What each one of us, or even for that matter, definitely the organization founders and who are heading will understand they have a clear defined purpose, and that is what is driving them like beyond imagination. And what we need to find out is why. Why do I need to do, or why do I need what I do? Now, what was my why? Somebody has asked this question to BKS Iyengar. He is known for doing 6 or 7 hours of yoga, and they asked him, why do you spend so much of time doing yoga? His answer was just 3 words. He said, for peaceful exit. And it's very deep and philosophical if you understand. And that is a very, very simple why for him, and that made him spend that much of a time. And also he lived exactly the same way, and at 90 plus age when he passed away, I think he was only suffered for 2 days in the hospital and then passed away. Now, what is my why? What drives me? when it was 7 or 8 years before. There was an ride which was conducted for NDTV, and we all of us went. It was 10 o'clock in the night, and it was starting at MG Road, and Hard Rock Cafe, that corner. Now it is not there. There was one electric pole or a telephone pole or something. Usually it will have a small box at the bottom, and I didn't realize I was standing next to those 10-12 of us. I was standing next to the pole. My pedal was stuck below that box, and when the ride was flagged off, I pedaled, and pedal didn't move, only the back wheel moved. I went up in the air and fell down, and I broke this hand, left hand. I broke my left hand. For me, it was more than a fracture. It was dent on my ego. I was always thinking I'm very strong and I'm lot more fit than what I ever thought. And when I fell down, I said, what's wrong this? Falling from 3-story building and breaking something is perfectly okay with me, not from 10 feet. From then I started working on. Many a times what happens today, we don't know why it happens. But we will get the answers couple of weeks, months or years down the line. From that incident, I went on building my fitness from a completely a different level. People who don't know me, I'm a fitness coach by profession, and probably that point of time I was more of working on myself rather than coaching others. Exactly 2 years from that day, on a Christmas day, I was riding on Mysore Road. That is the only once she cancelled my session. I was about to take a left turn to go to Rajarajeshwari Nagar. She sent a message, today there is no session, we will meet you tomorrow. Instead of taking that left turn to Rajarajeshwari Nagar, I decided to visit Decathlon Mysore Road. I went ahead. It is probably less than a minute. A car which is going to Mysore, picking up somebody from airport going to Mysore. He just takes a turn from university, comes and hits me from the behind. And comfortably, he himself agrees he was 80 plus kmph on the taxi. He hits me, and instantly my bicycle was stuck behind his front wheel. I was thrown up in the air. Entire my left part of the body was chopped off like a cucumber and slided on the ground. What saved me that day was what fractured that caused me in MG Road, and how I started preparing myself from that day to 2 years. If that fracture didn't happen, I don't think Mysore ride would have ended my story there, and it is a different situation. That fracture on my MG Road changed the way I look at fitness. I wanted to build my fitness in such a way. Since then I have multiples of incidents on road. Okay, God's blessings, each time I have stood up and walked. And it is simply the way you train yourself and how you have improved. I have nothing against any of those people, what they put it on social media. I'm just saying it is more for peer pressure, more for something else. And lot of people keep, from the day one when I did 100 into 100 days, one constant reminder and a pressure what I am finding it little hard to face is why still you have not applied for Guinness World Record. When your journey is inward, what drives you is just beyond imagination. What I would like to touch upon is find your why. And many of you will have a wonderful time here and enjoy the whole journey when this organization and your personal both are to a great extent when it is synced. You will have such a beautiful time, and that is exactly this makes huge sense. Today at times it comes up like this. I'm basically a short-tempered guy. Okay, the anger is just like this. There is a very funny statement in bicycling community. We keep saying, I'm graduated from Road Scholar. Not that one, ROADS. Half of your learnings comes from the road, because the guy who takes out, I can say this, either his chappal or a mini knife from an auto rickshaw and he wants to hit you, your ego melts, because you wanted to survive that moment, and lot of realization happens at that point of time. That was a constant thing that was happening all the time. Then somewhere I read, maybe that is what gave me a little bit of direction to my life. What was it is, anger is an indication of tremendous source of energy which is not spent. If you don't channelize your energy, you will get destroyed by it. That would have happened with the credit to any of the auto guys. They would have finished me, because it is so easy to pull a fight with that guy, because you know how they trigger you, and you are in a hurry and you wanted to go somewhere and he just stops or he takes a turn. Even today they hit me. I have quite a bit of injuries, but it is okay, but I am not fighting with them, because see, injury has happened. You have met with an accident, but what you can do about it? Does you fighting with him, does it going to improve the situation? It is not. You just need to walk away and you need to take care of what you need to take care. Okay, that is where I started running, and I will not take too much of time explaining it because it's a very nice transition. I started running, then slowly moved into barefoot running, and this is probably some 20 years before, where or even little more, where no one has heard about what is barefoot running. And little more than 10,000 kilometers I have ran barefoot. Okay, and another philosophy, self-induced philosophy about my fitness journey is, even if you look at this bicycle, you will understand and relate. Fitness, to build fitness, it shouldn't be expensive. Other day when I was interacting with Shashibhushan, I came to know the average age group of this audience is 27. I was just wondering, by default you have, I don't say fitness, health. What is it I'm doing when the average age group of people is 27 and I'm coming here and talking? In a lighter sense, the tire has not hit the tarmac. It is difficult to relate unless and until here and there you have one or two health or fitness issues. It is hard to relate. But what is something so beautiful about the mind is, everything what you hear, what you go through, whether you remember, you don't remember, it remains in your brain. You can retrieve it consciously or unconsciously whenever you want it. Okay, because at 27, the age, the beauty about that age 27 is, you can drink truckload of Pepsi and it works like water. And each one of you know what Pepsi or Coke, it's nothing but sugar. Now 40 plus, you you don't want sugar, you don't want this sugar, you don't want sweets, you don't want anything, and still you have a difficult time building your health and fitness. Okay? And what Shashivarjan asked, then move to barefoot running. Then somewhere I realized it is, if you want to continue running, I'm talking about 20 plus years before. Okay, there is something you need to do it parallelly to continue your what you love, continue what you like to do. That is, you need to do some amount of a strength training to make sure you don't injure yourself. And no one has heard about strength training at that point of time anywhere in the country. And that is when I started body weight exercises. If you look at it, looked into running, quickly transitioned myself to barefoot running, then moved to, for building strength training, I didn't go and join a gym. I started working on body weight exercises. There are so many countless options. By using your own body weight, you can build fitness. See, the moment it is a gym, you need to have a setup and you need to have a lot of fancy equipments, and you go and work out in the gym for 1 year, and for some reason you discontinue and you don't know what to do. Because you tell your parents or husband and wife or son, I don't have a treadmill here, I don't have weights, I don't have this machine, I cannot do anything about it. But body weight exercises is not like that. This is enough. Just if you don't have this floor, you can just use a yoga mat and you can build whatever you want to build. From then, quickly move to cycling to build, further strengthen my running. Once I started on cycling, I started understanding I cannot continue both the cardio activities. Because one can be the time constraint, the next thing is it is a lot of muscle loss. Okay, both are cardio activity. Then significantly cut down on running, started riding a bicycle. Then quickly got into commuting on a bicycle, because I was off Bangalore for 3-4 years. When I came back, I realized I don't think I can commute on this city anymore. I need a solution for this. That is when I started riding a bicycle for commuting. And if I have to commute by bicycle, I need to build some kind of a system where my fitness is to that extent is capable of taking care of either my sweating, or I still need to look fresh when I'm at a client's place. Okay, and that is where I started understanding there is so much potential we have as a human being. And when that continued, slowly switched over to yoga, then quickly moved to commuting on a bicycle around same time. Then I started understanding even the bicycle is becoming little expensive, because there is so much peer pressure outside. Everybody wants to go fast. Everybody wants to reach, have a greater KMPH. Okay, now then you want to have a lighter bike, faster bike, and you go on spending money on that. Then I started understanding there is why every time money is driving my fitness journey. That is where I started realizing this can fit that bill perfectly. One time investment, I little bit 3 years, I worked little more on having a more efficient bike. Otherwise, the starting of this kind of a bicycle is around 35,000. That's more than sufficient to take care of, your base minimum fitness journey what you are looking at.
There are days when you feel low. It's like you're not just yourself, but at the same time there is this constant drive, which is also the pressure, right, that you go through. Like for example, if I have been doing, let's say, 10 kilometers of cycling every day, and I want to do it for, let's say, 100 days, but there will be days when you don't feel like. But how do you go through that? Because talking about 1,000+ days of constant drive, do you also come to go through the days, or you are just superhuman? That's all.
Sometimes I don't say, don't get me wrong, I don't say I'm a legend, okay? There is a nice say, you can say leader. Let's replace with that word from legend to leader. They're not born, they are made, okay? How definitely I go through those kind of days, okay? See, there is something very beautiful science about how human body responds and reacts to each situation. You must have heard about a person called Alex Honnold, free solo movie, who climbed Yosemite National Park, that rock, without harness. The only man on earth to do it. It's a very beautiful journey about how that rock climbing has evolved over 75 years. That movie is available on Netflix. Please watch it. It is not about rock climbing, it is about insight into the human minds. Insight into what truly we are capable of. Okay? There is a old saying, not old saying, there is an incident each one of us would have faced in our life. You have a priest in the family. Each time when you have some difficulty, you go to them and they look into your horoscope or practices. They know you quite a bit by second generation, third generation, and they will tell you, Nodi, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಹತ್ರ ಒಂದು ಪೀಪಲ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರೀ ಇದೆ. You need to do every day 21 rounds. For 21 days, you need to do rounds, 10 rounds, and do namaskara and go. Why 21 days? See, other day somebody said in a lighter sense, when they know me, one of my student who is quite experienced guy, a senior guy, he said, Anil, forget riding 100 kilometer every day. Going to restroom every single day at the same time for 100 days is challenge. Because if you have not slept previous night at the same time, you will not be able to go and shit next day morning at the same time. Why do you see that? I mean, I'm not trying to tell you I'm great. It's only to give you an insight into what it takes. And the most important element is the discipline. Does anybody know what is the meaning of discipline? Can somebody say something about it? I mean, we have a nice thing going around. I mean, this each one of you can relate. I would like to do what I overused and most heard line, but discipline is exactly opposite of that. It is not what you do, what you need to do, what you love to do, doing that. Discipline is doing what needs to be done. What I love to do is sleep around say 3 in the morning. I don't have to get up at 3 in the morning. But what I need to do is I need to get up and get the job done. The day when you understand, see, what my daughter need to do is she need to take a medicine. That is what she needs to do. What she wants to do is she wants to sleep at 6:30. She doesn't want to get up and drink that medicine and then sleep again. It disturbs her sleep. But what works for her well is that medicine because it is needed. Now, when Alex Honnold, when National Geographic Channel did a movie on him, I mean the documentary, They found out, they did one, the entire research on his brain. How does it work? They found out a component of the neurons which connects to the fear component is non-existent. How did that happen? From age 4, he is into doing rock climbing, and that fear, his brain doesn't process the fear. That is exactly what happens when you keep on constantly doing repeatedly, and brain keeps on rewiring. Irrespective of what happens, this is going to happen. See, when I started my 1000 days journey, I had stomach upset, I had vomiting, I had 4 accidents, one drunkard taxi guy on a Kanakpura road for no fun. I don't know what he derives out of it. He stops when car didn't even stop. Car was still going, and all 4 of them were drunk. One guy jumps out of the car, he comes and hits me and goes, and the car is still moving. He gets into the car, and nothing happened to me. Touch wood. The question is, when you're riding a bicycle on your own, if some moving car suddenly stops and hits you, you fall, and the moment you fall, there is some amount of a fatigue in the body. There is some amount of a rhythm in the body. The simple fall can break certain things. And there is another incident that happens. These days I am ride more on Kanakpura road because I stay in Girinagar. My sessions happens in South Bangalore. Kanakpura road is very convenient. For this bicycle to ride, flat is more convenient. Flat stretch. Okay, and there is a loop of from Konankunte cross to Vajrali metro station, 5 kilometer stretch. I keep doing loops. I mean, recently I completed 25,000 kilometers on that 5 kilometer loop. Okay, it is that kind of a thing. And one morning at 4 o'clock, 2 Zomato guys, I'm just riding alone. They come and hit my knee from the side. I don't know what they get. I think either they were bored, or I don't know what this man is riding a bicycle, and they hit. And this hand was, I landed, for some reason, I landed in a very unusual way. This got twisted. There is a complete swelling here. And how beautiful the body finds a solution. That is why it is called, anything which is pent up need to come out sooner or later in a constructive way. If it doesn't come that way, it's going to have a negative way of coming out. It was completely twisted, and it is like this. Within 2 minutes, I'm supposed to meet another my student. He's supposed to join me. He was late that day for 2 minutes. He comes, and these 2 guys on a scooter, they come back. I don't know why they came back. They wanted to steal or something, I don't know. They suddenly saw 2 of us, and the moment I saw my student, I got a lot more energy. We started chasing. I screamed and took stone and trying to beat. And I have a photo. Okay, I screamed, I yelled, and by the time they disappeared, this hand was alright. This twisted hand became just normal. Then later I went and I was not able to hold the brake. This still has one brake. I was not able to hold the brake, apply the brake. Got X-ray done. There is no fractures. There is only tissue damage. All those things. That is another incident. And each time when you go through these kind of incidents, you still go and complete it. That day I finished around 10:30 or 11 o'clock in the night, because I was not able to hold the brake. And each time, because of the tissue damage, consulting the doctor and all those things, it took time. By 10:30 or 11, I slept for an hour or so. Then I started. I was not able to hold. Each time, small pothole on the road would send a lot of lot of discomfort. Then when you complete, still go ahead and complete, the way the rewiring that happens in the brain is, this is irrespective of what happens, this man is going to continue. It is not from an ego perspective, only from a brain, the way it processes. These kind of situations, and probably the only way when I feel low, when I don't want to go out and ride, is when I'm sleep deprived. That's where emotions are little disturbed. Many a times I have slept till 11:30 in the afternoon, noon. Okay, then I feel completely fresh. Some days I have not started my ride at 3:30 or 4 o'clock. I have started quite late. This is how I handle. Abhishek, hope I have answered.
But I just wanted to know that from here on, how do you plan your next journey? How do you plan about your next steps or missions or goals from here onwards?
When I started this, it was 2020, August 2nd. I started doing 100 kilometers every day. 4 years before that, I have done 100 kilometers per day for continuous 30 days. That means to say that is almost 7 years from now, 7 years before. 7 years before, it was unheard of anybody riding 100 kilometers every day. In cycling, one of the greatest name is Peter Sagan. People who follow the sports will understand. Okay, he's 33. He is retired. Okay, retired from professional sports. You must have heard about Kipchoge, man who ran full marathon in 1:59. He is planning to retire this year, age 38. Many of you understand people who start the endurance fitness journey start somewhere around the age of late 30s or early 40s. What we fail to understand is, are you trying to tell me you're greater than Kipchoge or Peter Sagan? When you had a potential to do what he couldn't do, and you wanted to prove at 40 you can do that? We just go overboard on it. Now, there is quite a bit of work goes behind. Okay, how do you do it? You prepare yourself and understand what you're capable of. 4 years back, when I did that, that is almost 7 years, from today, 7 years before. When I started my daily 100, I didn't have a plan. And I just wanted to take one day at a time. And it was a 4-year gap. I was not sure whether I will be able to do it for 30 days. And 4 years before, when I did it on an MTB bike, and then this time it was on a Fixie. Because what happens is, with the Fixie, endurance is little more challenging, because as long as the bike is moving, you need to keep pedaling. That means to say, I'm just in an average. If you look at it, the number of revolution per minute what you do is, you can say anywhere between 70 to 90 times you will be pedaling per minute. You will take a lower side average 70, and if it is 70 rotations per minute, and you will be pedaling for an average 1 hour, it is 4,300, 4 to 5 hours. You can understand how many times you would be rotating the pedal. It is not the same on another bicycle, because each time when the bike is on a good momentum, you don't have to pedal. There is no rotation, there is no work for the muscle. Because what I was not sure about is how my body would react. I took one day at a time. And next is, I never had any plan of this number this. I only said one day at a time, and next is as long as he decides, the journey will go on.
Also need to plan your diet to be successful with whatever your plans are, right?
Usually my day looks like this. I get up at 3 in the morning. Probably either Saturday or Sunday, one of the days I don't get up that early morning, I sleep more. Because what happens with any kind of an endurance activity, you need little more sleep. Because the kind of muscle which is used, it needs that amount of a rest. How do you minimize that time is, you can do couple of things. Okay? One, the strength what you have. Okay? Strength is the simply to put it across, the ability to assume for a second this is 100 kg, the ability to lift this, whether you will be able to lift 1 time or 10 times significantly depends on the strength what you have. Okay, and that directly affects your recovery. Next is the sleep, and another thing is what kind of a cool down exercises you do to loosen up the muscles, and muscles are completely relaxed next day morning. And another thing which works very well is also cold water bath. If you can, the ice water bath makes a significant difference. Okay, that's the quickest way to recover your muscles. Significantly, muscle loss is minimized. Initially, when I started, after a gap of 4 years, I used to eat 5 times a day. Okay, my body was not able to, I was asking for more calories. Okay, and it is constantly asking for it, and I went on feeding. And next, later after 1.5 years or something, I cut down. Okay, right now I eat only twice a day. Okay, my food for today is over. Lunch is the last I eat, and next is next day morning. And please understand, I don't recommend this to anybody. Okay, I'm 16 years into cycling, and the way the body functions is different. Okay, it should not be like tomorrow somebody gets HR gets a mail, I did what he said, and this is what happened to me. Don't put me into trouble. Okay, it is you need to understand. Okay, 1 year, 2 years back it was 5 times a day. Then I brought it down to 3. Now it is 2. Morning 9:30 or so breakfast, and 2 o'clock the lunch. Okay, and then after that I don't eat anything. I'll just give a little insight, and I take care of my protein intake. I don't do anything whey protein or nothing of that kind. Only dry fruits, and most of the dry fruits soaked. You are not supposed to take the dry fruits directly. You need to take it soaked, because that is where good cholesterol and a bad cholesterol, the difference it makes, that is important. First lockdown, what I did, it was a 21 days, I didn't eat anything. 21-day fasting only on water and coffee. Some of my cousins are doctor. One of them said, how is this even possible? When you are not eating food, how you can take caffeine and you don't develop acidity? What we need to understand is what worked for Kiran may not work for Anil. What worked for Anil may not work for Pallavi. What works for her may not work for Shashibhushan. What works is the fundamentals, the habits, the purpose, the why, and everything else is the work ethics after that. And each one of us are unique in our own way. We need to give sufficient time to understand who we are and then take it. 21 days, I lost around 7 kg, and I didn't do any exercise, very little. There is a very nice, before that, for 4 or 5 years, I used to do Nirjala fasting, that is once in 15 days, fasting, no water, and all normal activities what I do. Okay, riding my bicycle, going around, everything normal. I didn't change anything. That from there I built it to continuous 21 days fasting, and that is why my body could take it. There is a lot of actually there is a Nobel physics, Nobel Prize for medicine for 2 of Japanese scientists about this, the fasting. It's very beautiful insight. When you have time, please go through it. Hope I have answered. There is so much of time. Yeah, please go ahead.
Thanks for all the insights. It's been quite a long journey and very inspiring. So right from starting the running, barefoot running, yoga, cycling, I just wanted to know how everything has impacted your mental health and some insights of for all the 27 average rounds to something we can do to make it stronger, probably get going.
One last aspect, will not take more than 1 minute. The moment when you know why, how is easy. When my why was clear, second lockdown in 2021, I think sometime in March, I had no clue. Everybody was telling, including some of the police officers whom in common cycling friend I spoke to them, he said, please don't take chance. It's going to be very serious. Okay, and I don't know how to do. I have done something like 250 days or something. I didn't want to stop for a small reason. My house to one end of the road to the other end of the road is 250 meters. I did 400 times on that 250 meters because this was strong, and how just simply came in front of my eyes. That's all.